this summer's lineup is looking at some artists that maybe haven't been around in a long time, like bands like Gwar. I have great fond memories of Gwar. Plain White Tees are going to jump in for a show this year, we just announced. You know, they started on Warped, so having them drop in at a different point in their life is nice too. You know, Sick of It All coming back, and they were on the first Warped Tour in 1995, and if I can help them reintroduce them to a new set of fans and maybe bring back some of their old fans to the Warped mix, it should be a good time. New bands, I think that whole stage, you know, it's a band called Creeper. Creeper I had on Warped Tour in England a couple of years ago, and I walked in the basement and it was like listening to early AFI, early My Chem, and they're starting to have some real success over in the UK, and they'll be coming over for the first time. We have some really kind of cool female artists this year. War on Women. Shauna's a very activist, has a lot of really strong opinions but are acting on them. It's a different kind of show. And then bringing a band that's been around the UK for a while, Sonic Boom 6. And to me it's like a Selector meets a No Doubt meets a Clash-ish kind of vibe. Female singer, strong, a very cool band. And then you go out and it'll be fun to see if all this talk about bands, you know, like I Prevail and Beartooth that really pan out this summer, and Neck Deep with a new album. The idea of writing the set every day comes back to my 1991 Lollapalooza. I was stage managing that show, and one of my favorite artists, Henry Rollins, was playing. And I'd watch him out there, and he played at 1:20 every day to a bunch of empty seats. And all I would do is sit there and go, man, if Henry could just play right before Jane's Addiction a couple nights, it would have changed his whole profile and career at that point, because there's no way you couldn't talk about Henry Rollins. So when I did Warped Tour, it was like, I'm just going to write it so everyone gets a chance to be in great spots. And on the road, you get in this routine. Breaking up that routine is sometimes hard, but I think it was really good for artists because they never knew who they were playing before and after. And doing that with like Katy Perry, to be able to put her and challenge her to play right after or before Bring Me the Horizon at that point was, I think, really important to develop her live show. I mean, she learned how to go and own a crowd. She won that crowd over. It was definitely not a pop crowd. But you know what? You had to respect what she was doing, and you watched her develop through that whole summer. And I think that's why it's broken bands, that everyone's had a chance to be in great spots. And trust me, people have come to me in the industry and says, well, change that model. Like maybe we go with a headliner and we do. I go, then people aren't going to be there to see these young bands. It's something that works. It may not be working for some people now, but the people it works for, we'll keep trying it for, you know, we'll see what happens. When we book bands, it used to be all based about how many albums, if an album's coming out. Now I'm getting things more like streaming, and where does Warped fit into the model? You ask, you know, how I look and book the Warped Tour. So you start to build a lineup, and you start to get a feel of which way it's going to go. You also try to get a gut feeling of where music might be going over the next 12 months. And then, you know, we've got I Prevail and Beartooth and Neck Deep that I think will be the next movement of bands that are coming up behind the Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veils that, you know, you're starting to see them now. A lot of people chat, a lot of people talking about these bands, and hopefully Warped Tour will give them a boost to develop new headliners, because ultimately we have to have new headliners.